still a mess. $53 billion in the third
First of all,
world.
that's not true.
Yes.
Guys.
Families, public opinion.
In the beginning, we were essentially looking at and trying to invent motion graphics and bring the creativity that we saw in print from all around the world and historically to the moving image. And I saw an opportunity in '93 to actually start a new agency. And I think that from '95 until 2004, we really developed a new model for an interactive agency. And the vision, I think, is the same as what we have right now. I wasn't looking to create an interactive boutique or an interactive agency. I was looking to reinvent the advertising agency. And that's what we're doing. So if you go off to the right of our logo on our website and you look at our model, you'll see that's not changed. The architecture of what we built, except for some nuances that came along as we were doing it, like a mobile, emerging platforms for social media kind of things, those are new and added in. But the idea of it was pretty solid in '93. You have to be an agency that looks at consumer behavior and actually figures out what they want and need and how they behave and where they are and what device they're using and what platform they're on. That's how you do the new type of advertising and marketing. Let's start with the corporations that sponsor advertising and marketing are in trouble. If I were to say that the agency business in some respects would go the same way as the music business, then what I would say is what that means is the actual record business and label and music business as it existed before has been tremendously disrupted, and that if you think about it, there's more music now than ever. That means that advertising and marketing won't become less, it'll actually be more, but it'll be distributed differently. And when you look at the agency models now, the bigger the agency is, the more difficult it is to deal with the bricks and mortar, to deal with deconstruction, to deal with transformation into a new model that fits their agency. And they'll all do it, but it'll be a deconstruction. It won't be an additive process.
Right.
Look at it historically. Look at what happened to General Motors. What they were thinking of is the more things change, the more they stay the same, and they went out of business with that. Look at the advertising business. The more things change, the more they stay the same. That's the quote of a big global agency, not the quote of a new company that started up doing things entirely different. They're not managing clients, these new agencies. They're working on what the consumer really is thinking about, which has never happened before. It's not interruptive. It's something that it works very differently. And they understand the consumer's in control. That wasn't the way before. And you got to come back to the client with real measurement on return on investment, return on attention. I think that phrase is keeping people talking about the same thing, like it will tonight, by the way, and that's how I'll end it. You're going to have this very nice auditorium. You're going to have great sound systems. You're going to have commercials being projected, and it's going to make everybody think, hey, this is still the greatest thing in the world, and it has really nothing to do with most of these commercials with what the consumer behavior is about. And so I think that things have changed, and they'll change more. That would be my quote. I mean, I think it's pretty clear to me anyway and it's been developed by myself and others at RGA, that we separate between a campaign which is marketing based and a platform which could have in it a very small application that ties into a community, or it could be HP.com, which we showed here, the future of HP.com in 160 countries, 40 languages throughout the world. We showed some examples with Nike Plus. We showed some examples with Vine and with Pepsi, Dear Mr. President, and they're all platforms. I tend to mention sometimes that we just picked up Walmart as a client, and that's 100% right now campaign-based. Nokia that we do worldwide out of London and New York is almost 100% campaign-based. So when you look at different types of clients, some of them might be 30% campaign-based and others and 70% platform-based. It's a human story, and not only that, but Nike Plus, which a lot of people don't realize, is Nike's own media channel. So when you take it's a platform that they own, that they can interact with runners and create a community in which these runners interact with the product on average every 3 days. And there's 1 million people doing it, and it'll grow. Now when you look at that and you see that on top of that you could create the human race, which is an event essentially, both on Nike Plus platform where you can run anywhere, or it was in 28 cities and 800,000 people ran on one day. I think that is a story, because a run is a story. And how you interact and with competition with other people anywhere in the world, and the way you can do challenges and stuff, it's your personal story. But it's not just your personal story that way, it's your personal data. And people are interested in their personal music, as we know, but they're also equally as interested, and some times more interested, in the visualization of their personal data. That's about their story, not about some advertiser's story. The fact is that I don't believe in metaphorical television commercials. Having worked on 4,000 of them in the past, RGA produced about 4,000 TV commercials. So we understand the structure really well. And what I'm saying is very bold, that the main, I'm going to take notes at the Palais tonight and see how many commercials actually are about the demonstration of a product or service, and even if they have a metaphor incorporated into them, it still talks about the product and service, because if it's just a pure metaphorical commercial, they don't work. When everybody gets converted to a new model, you won't be talking about digital versus traditional. You won't be talking about whether they're collaborative or not, because if they can't figure out how to collaborate, they won't be in business. You won't be talking about whether they're, you'll be talking about other things. You'll be talking about, well, do they have the best understanding of the local market? Do they have the best capabilities in technology? Do they have the best capabilities in India? Do they have the best relationship with the senior client? It's also about relationships, and on. But nobody will be talking about digital versus direct versus cyber versus all these titles. They'll all go away, and they'll just be talking about small, medium, large, local, very creative, not that creative, good technically, whatever.